Hello students, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'll be doing the back exercise questions, providing the NCERT solutions for the chapter stacks from your class 12th NCERT book for computer science. Okay, so let's get started. The first question is after the true and false question. The question is you have to find the output of the following code. So in the first part, you are given a variable result which has been initialized to 0. Then you have a list which contains the values 10, 20 and 30. Then you are performing the append operation on this list. So this particular statement will add element 40 at the end of the list. So the new list, number list, will have the elements 10, 20, 30 and 40. Now what you are doing, you are adding the value of the result, which is currently 0, to the return value of this operation. This operation, number list dot pop, will pop out one element from the last of the list, okay, the recently inserted element. So that will be 40. So 0 plus 40 should give you the result 40 when you print this statement. Okay, now the result has the value 40. Now if you perform this statement, if you execute this statement again, what will happen? This has value 40, this will have the return value 30, because now the list after popping out element 40 has 3 elements which are 10, 20 and 30. So this particular operation, number list dot pop, will return the value 30 and the list will only have the elements 10 and 20. So 30 plus 40 will give you 70. So let's execute these statements. So as you can see, the result of the first print statement is 40, because initially result variable had value 0 and the popped out element was 40, and the value of the second print statement is 70 because the variable result had value 40 and the popped out element was 30. So 30 plus 40 is 70. Okay, coming to the next part of this question. In the next part, you have a statement which defines two variables, answer, which is a list, and output, which is an empty string right now. So the list is getting appended with 3 elements, T, A and M. Okay, so the list will now contain elements T, character A and character M. Okay, all the 3 characters. Now when we pop out an element from this list, since we appended the character M at the last, this element will be popped out and the first character that will be popped out will be M. Now this particular statement, output equal to output plus CH, will have the value M, because initially output was an empty string. Now CH variable has the value M. So the output variable will now store the string M. Okay, now if we perform the same operation, let's execute the same 2 statements again. The next character to be popped out from the list will be A and output will now contain M concatenated with character A. So the output will be MA. Okay, so let's print step by step and see what is happening to the output at each step. Okay, so I am inserting this print statement. You can also give the final result as the output, and when I execute this, see, initially this print statement has given you the answer M. Then the second print statement has given you the string MA, and finally when you perform these statements, execute these statements the third time, you will get the result MAT. Okay, so this is how this particular part is working. Now coming to the question of writing a program to reverse a string using a stack. So what is the logic behind this program that you will be writing? So every time you have a string, say you have a string YouTube, what you have to do, you have to use a stack and you have to insert the elements of the given string into the stack one by one. So character by character, you will insert the elements of the string into the stack. And when you do so, for this particular string, the first element that will be inserted into the stack will be Y, then O, then U, and the topmost element will be E. Okay, now after doing this, once all the elements are in the stack, if you start popping out elements from the stack, you will get the characters from right to the left. That means in the reverse order. So first the element to be popped out from the stack will be E, then B, then U, and so on. The last character to be popped out will be Y. So if you start popping out elements from this stack and start appending it to a string in which you are storing the reversed string, the output of your program, then you will get the reversed string as an output. Okay, so let's see how to write this program. I have declared a string and have given the name it as my string. It contains the value YouTube. I will be storing the reversed string in the variable named reversed string, which is initially an empty string, and I have declared a stack as a list. Okay, so now to perform the operations on the stack like push and is empty, pop operations that we are defined for the stack, I am using all those operations that I have discussed in the previous videos also. So these are the operations that were implemented for the stack in Python, and you can refer to the detailed video for each of these operations. Now coming back to our program, so what I'm doing, I'm traversing the string character by character in the first for loop and pushing the elements of the string into the stack one by one. So for every element, that means for every character that is present in the string YouTube, it will be pushed into the stack, and when this for loop will be over, all the elements of this string, all the characters will be into the stack. Now what I am doing, I am checking as long as the stack is not empty. Okay, that means as long as the isEmpty function returns false, pop out the characters from the stack and append or concatenate those popped out characters to the result, to the resulting string variable. This is reversed string. So let's print the output. So as you can see, the output, which is the reversed string, will have the original string in the reverse order of characters. So initially the first character was Y, now it has become the last character of the resulting string, and the last character was E, which has become the first character. Okay, so this was the program for reversing a string using a stack. Now coming to the next program from your back exercises, this program asks you to use a stack and store only odd numbers into the stack out of all the numbers that are entered by the user. So the very first line of this question asks you to perform three things. First, you have to ask the user to enter some numbers. Then you have to check whether those numbers are odd or not. And then if the number is odd, you have to store those numbers into the stack. Okay, so this is a very good way of understanding the question and just making a rough note of what all you have to do in that question. Okay, now once you have entered the odd numbers into the stack, you have to display the content of the stack at the end, and at the last you have to also display the largest odd number that was present in the stack. Okay, so let's see how we'll perform this particular program or write this particular program. So what I'm doing is, again, I am creating an empty stack in the form of a list. Okay, and I am creating a variable largest, which I'm initializing to -infinity, which is the smallest number I can think of, and this is the way of initializing it: float double quotes -inf. Okay, so this particular variable will store the largest odd number that is present in the stack. Now how will I do this, all these operations that are asked from me in the question? First, I will ask the user to enter the number. Then for each number, see, I'm saying while true because I want it to continue as long as the user wants to enter the number. Okay, and this loop will continue running unless and until the user enters a no. I'm asking at the end of each iteration of this while loop, I'm asking the user, do you want to continue? That means, do you want to enter more characters? And if the user wants to continue, he or she can enter any character except n or small n, standing for no. Otherwise, if he or she enters these two characters, the capital N or a small n, we will break out of this while loop and we will no longer accept values from the user. But as long as we are accepting values from the user, for each value which I'm storing in the variable num, I'm checking if the value is not an even number. That means if num modulo 2 is not equal to 0. So that means if the value is an odd number because its remainder with 2 is not equal to 0, then I have to push that value entered by the user into my stack. Okay, so this is one part. Now for that number that the user has entered, I'm also checking whether the number is greater than the largest number that I have seen till now. So initially the largest number will contain minus infinity, and the first number that the user enters will be stored in this variable largest, because that number will definitely be greater than, I hope the user does not enter minus infinity, so that number will be greater than the original default value of the variable largest. So this is how we are maintaining the largest number that was input into the stack. And since we are writing it inside this if condition, the largest variable will only be updated when a number is entered into the stack. That means whenever an odd number is seen. Okay, so this is what you have to do. You have to keep doing these operations as long as the user wants to continue entering the number, and at the end you have to print the largest number and display the contents of the stack. So I have used the display function that I have defined earlier. So let's see what happens. First, when I execute this program, I'm asked to enter a number, then I enter 5. Do I want to continue? Yes, I want to continue. So I enter yes. Again, it prompts me to ask to enter a number. So I enter say 2. Now, do I want to continue? Yes, I want to continue again. So I enter y. Now, again, it is asking me to enter a number. So I enter say 9. And I press enter. Do I want to continue? Let's say for the last time, yes. Then I enter a number, say 8. And do I want to continue? No. Now let's see what are the contents of the stack. So the current elements in the stack are 9 and 5. So firstly, these are the odd numbers that I entered. I entered 2 odd numbers and 2 even numbers. Out of them, only the odd numbers have been entered. The first odd number was 5, which is entered first into the stack, so it is displayed at the bottom, and the next odd number was 9, which is entered above this element 5. That means as the second element of the stack, which is 9, and the largest element is 9. Okay, so this is the program that you will be writing for this particular question of your stacks back exercises from your NCERT. Now this the back exercises also contain some questions to solve for postfix and infix operations. Okay, so basically there is a question that asks you to convert an infix expression into a postfix expression. Let's solve that for now. So let's see what is happening here. We are given an infix expression, and when we are given this expression, we have to convert it into a postfix expression. So the rules for the conversion I have already told you before. You can refer to the detailed video. Also, I'll link it in the description and on the right hand side right now. So let's start with the conversion. This is the infix expression that we are given. First character that we witness is a parenthesis, the opening bracket. So we'll push into the stack. Again, the second parenthesis also we will push into the stack. Till now, there is no element that is present in the postfix expression. But the first element that we encountered, the operand 2, is now added to the postfix expression, it is appended to the postfix expression. So the stack contains 2 elements and the postfix expression contains the element 2. Then we have the operator plus. The rule says that if the stack does not contain any operator that has a higher precedence than the operator that we are currently seeing, we have to push the current operator onto the stack. So we have pushed the current operator onto the stack and there is no change in the postfix expression. So the next character that we see is 3. We directly append it to the postfix expression. So the expression that we now have contains 2 characters, 2 and 3. The next is the closing bracket. Now the rule for if the closing bracket is that keep popping out elements from the stack as long as you see the first opening bracket, and append these elements that have been popped out from the stack into the expression and leave both the opening and closing brackets. Okay, so you have to discard the opening and closing brackets, but you have to append all the characters in between. So when I see the current stack, I have the character plus, so I append it to the current postfix expression. So my postfix expression becomes 2, 3 and plus, and as soon as I see the first opening bracket, I pop it out and I stop there. Okay. The next character that we see is a star operator. So star will be pushed into the stack because the current stack only has a single opening bracket on it. It does not have an operator on the top. Next, we again see another opening bracket which will be pushed into the stack and there is no change in the postfix expression. The next element is 4. So 4 again will be directly appended or added at the end to the postfix expression. So the postfix expression now becomes 2, 3 plus and 4. Okay. So let's see what do we have next. We have the operator division. Now for the operators, the rule is that you have to push the operator onto the stack if the stack does not contain an operator which has a higher precedence as compared to the operator we are seeing. So currently at the top of the stack there is only a parenthesis, so we can directly push division operator at the top of the stack. So after division we see the value 2. Okay, so the 2 is directly appended in the postfix expression. After appending 2 we see a closing bracket. So the rule says keep popping out elements until you see an opening bracket. So the elements that will be popped out will be a division operator and both the brackets, the round opening and closing brackets, will be discarded. So now the stack only contains 2 elements. The top element is the star and the next element is another opening bracket. Okay. The next character that we see in the expression is the closing bracket, closing parenthesis. So what we do, we pop out the element on the top of the stack and keep popping out until we see the opening bracket. So we'll pop out the star and append it to the postfix expression that we are creating. So the postfix expression now becomes 2, 3 plus 4, 2 division star, and we'll also pop out the opening bracket. Now the next character that we see is the plus character. So directly we can push it into the stack because there is no other character into the stack right now. The next character is the 2. So we append 2 at the end of the current postfix expression that we are creating. And now since there are no more characters in the expression, the infix expression that we are traversing, so we can directly pop out the last character from the stack and append it to the resulting postfix expression that we are creating. So this is the result, this is the resulting postfix expression, 2, 3 plus 4, 2 division star 2 plus. Okay. All right. Coming to the next question, in this question you are asked to evaluate the given postfix expression and you have to find the value using these particular values that you have been given. Okay, so let's see, this is my postfix expression. The rule for the postfix expression I have linked in the description box, also the video that has the details, and on the right hand side as well. So the first character that we are seeing is an operand A, so we directly push into the stack. The operand B is also pushed into the stack. So the stack now contains operand A and operand B. Now we see a plus operator. So the rule is pop out two elements from the stack, perform the operation on those two elements and push back the result. So what I do, I pop out two elements A and B, I perform the operation which is A plus B and then push the result onto it. So as of now, I am not writing down the values for each of the variables. That can be done at the very end also, but you can do at this step also. So the value of A is 3, the value of B is 5. So you can perform these, the plus operation on it, which is 8, and you can push directly 8 onto the stack. Okay, so both of them are correct as long as the final result is right. So the next character that we see in the postfix expression is C. C is now directly pushed onto the stack. So the stack now has two elements. Okay, the first element was the result A plus B and the second element is C. The next character that we see on the stack is star. So what we do, we pop out two elements and perform this operation. So the two elements will be A plus B and C. We perform the star operation and we calculate the result. The result of this would be 8 into 1, which is the value of C, which will give you 8, and you can directly push this result onto the stack since the expression does not contain any more elements. So this will be the final result. Okay, so coming to the next part, similarly we have to evaluate this postfix expression. So the two first characters A and B will be directly pushed into the stack. First you push A, then you push A and B. Sorry, first you push A and on top of it you push B. Now as soon as you see the star operator, you pop out A and B, you perform the multiplication and push back the result into the stack. So the stack now has the result of A into B. Then you push the next character, which is the operand, and in the next time when you see the character division, you pop out the two elements. So the stack now contains two elements which are C and the result of A multiplied by B. And when you see the division operator, you will perform the operations. So A into B divided by C. Alright. Then the next character that you see is D. So you will directly push this character onto the stack. Now the last character for this expression is multiplication. So what you will do, you will pop out two elements. The only two elements that are present into the stack are A into B divided by C. This is one element, and the second element is D. So you will perform the result using the, you will perform the operation using the star operator, and when you find out this value by putting the value of A as 3, B as 5, C as 1 and D as 4, you will get the value as 60. Now this result will be directly pushed into the stack, and since this is the only element, you can, this is the final result, you can pop it out of the stack and display. Okay. Alright, coming to the next question, in which again you have to convert a given infix expression into a postfix expression. So this is the result, the final result that you will be getting, but let's see what will be the process of getting this result. So in the given postfix expression, what you have a character A. So you will directly append this character in the resulting postfix expression. Then the next character you see is an operator. So you will push the operator onto the stack because no other operator of higher precedence is present in the stack as of now. The next character you see is B. So you add B or append B at the end of the postfix expression that you are currently seeing, and the stack contents remain unchanged. It still has only one element, which is the plus operator. Then you see the character minus, which is an operator. Now, since on the current stack there is an element, the plus operator, which has an equal precedence that as compared to the minus operator, so you will pop it out, and only after popping it out and appending it to the current postfix expression, you will push the element minus onto the stack. Okay, so this is a very important step. Please do not make any mistake here. You can only push an operator onto the stack if the stack does not contain any operator on the top, or if the stack contains an operator of a lower precedence. In any other case, where if the stack contains an element at the top which is of higher or equal precedence, you have to pop out those operators first, okay, and append it to the postfix expression. The next character we see is the character C. So this character is directly appended at the end of the postfix expression. So the postfix expression now becomes A, B plus C. Then we see star. Since star has a higher precedence than minus, so it will be directly pushed into the stack above the minus operator. The next character we see is D. We append D at the end, and since we do not have any other character in the infix expression that we are seeing right now, and the contents of the stack are still there, so the stack is not empty, so we pop out all the elements and append them one by one at the end of the stack. Okay, so the final result of this infix to postfix conversion is AB plus CD star minus. Okay, coming to the second part of this question, similarly the same steps would be followed. You append the first character A in the postfix expression. Currently the stack is empty. Next you push the element star onto the stack, and the postfix expression remains unchanged, which means it still has element A. The next is the two opening parentheses, which you can directly push onto the stack. So the stack now has 3 elements, and the postfix expression that you are generating has a single element A. The next character C is appended to the postfix expression with no change in the stack. Then the element plus is directly pushed on the top of the stack. Next, we see the element D, which is appended to the postfix expression that we are creating. Next is the closing parenthesis. So you pop out all the elements till you see the first opening parenthesis. So the star will be popped out, and it will be appended at the end of the postfix expression that we are creating, and this parenthesis will also be popped out, the opening parenthesis, but it will not be appended in the postfix expression. The next character is the division operator. So we directly push the division operator on the top of the parenthesis in the stack. Next we see the character E, which is appended in the postfix expression. Now we see the character at the end, which is the closing bracket. So we pop out all the elements till we see an opening bracket. So division operator will be popped out and appended at the end of this postfix expression. Now the expression is over and the stack is empty. So only element remaining is star. So you pop out star and also append it at the end of the postfix expression you are creating. So this is the final result, ACD plus E division star. Okay. So that's all for the back exercise of stacks. I hope you have understood all these questions. In case you have any doubts, please let us know in the comment section below. Thank you for watching. Till we meet in the next video. Mind your exam.